Well, we didn't have a good performance tonight, and UCLA deserves a lot of credit. Their defense was a big reason they won, and so was their offense. They were good at both ends. They were prepared. They were better than us, and they were really better than us from start to finish. It's hard to believe with just under the 10-minute mark of the game that it was 45-44 in a one-point game. It really never felt like that. It felt like we were always climbing uphill. We were 3 for 19 from 2 in the first half. It's hard to make 3 twos. 3 for 19 from 2. And to be down 1 point at the half, I think it gives you a lot of hope. It's kind of a physical rock fight type of game in the first half. The second half was more of the same. We came out very flat from halftime, first 4 minutes. We have a couple guys that weren't playing well. And I go back to the last 10 minutes of USC. It's hard to be gloom and doom when you win, but the last 10 minutes of USC reminded me of a lot of parts of this game. And that's not to take anything away from UCLA because they did a great job here tonight on both sides, but they were the bigger, stronger, more physical team. And we really struggled against their style. Did you see this coming? Absolutely. Not that I saw a loss coming, but I knew that the way they play would be very difficult for the makeup of our team. And it was. And hopefully we'll be better the next time we play them, but we have to bounce back, go to the Bay Area on the road, and see if we can get a road victory at Cal.
It almost seemed like, the way you talked about it after the USC game, that you were worried about a further slide. You're talking about, was this kind of like a week-long thing? You were talking about practice. Really, I don't know how.
Yeah, we really worked hard on the heels of our USC game to, make sure we're locked in and repair. But, there's no magic potion, and then I don't want to point towards, our preparation as the reason we lost. The game starts at 8 o'clock on Saturday, and, it's a big game. It's a nationally televised game. Clearly, we had a lot of respect for UCLA. I knew that their style would be problematic for certain guys and just our team. But, you hope that as the game wears on, you get used to it. You're playing at home, and you have a lot of different players that can step up. But, we were 0 for 12 in the second half from 3, and we were 3 for 19 from 2 in the first half. If you don't have any defense against you, as good as UCLA's defense might have been, if you're just in the gym 5-on-0, you think about how hard it is to miss 16 shots of the 19 from 2, and then the 12 twos in the second half. It was hard. And I also think that UCLA did a really good job on offense. If you look at their second half offense, they were 13 of 22, 3 for 7 from 3, 7 for 8 from the line. If it wasn't for their turnovers, they would have had a much, much bigger night. But we got beat on defense, we got beat on offense, and we have a couple guys that certainly really struggled here tonight.
Is this as hot and cold team as you've had at Arizona?
No, we have our 3 most of everything, most minutes played, most point total freshman guys. And man, thank goodness we have them. They've done a great job. But when you're riding their production every day in every game, there's going to be some ups and downs. And we have some other guys really that are struggling. I think, Dylan obviously struggling with his shot. I think he's missed about 20 in a row. But, Dylan's 6'5", and he's that one-wing player that can really help us defensively. And, our subs are much smaller. So it's tough just to go without him because, we trust him on defense. And he's also had some really good moments on offense this season. and hopefully he can get his confidence back. That's, again, like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, you want your team to have confidence. We certainly didn't look like we had confidence tonight, and that's on me. That's my job as the coach.
Nico said he didn't think they did anything different defensively he hadn't seen, at least with him. I don't know, did you see that with what they were doing to Zeke inside or some of the wing guys maybe?
No, they're just very physical. You know, when you shoot the percentage that we shot, you would say, well, they're a shot blocking team. You know, they play above the rim, and we've played against teams like that. They had one block. They had one block. I mean, we missed now some layups. And I kind of used the analogy a second ago, like, I mean, there are very similar shots that you're getting when there's no defense. You know, it's drive, no one there, miss. And we had one of those nights, and when you have one of those nights, you're gonna have to win another way, and we couldn't win the other way.
Does it remind you of like Baylor, for example, when you guys
Yes.
struggled to shoot? They were physical.
Yeah, Baylor though is bigger than UCLA. You know, they can block shots, but very similar to that style.
Was there anything you made that little run, like you said, to get to 44, 45, you know, maybe a little bit of let up at that point, or just maybe running out of gas where it maybe hurts you on both ends?
Yeah, we played small, so we subbed, and we went as, you know, really super small, 4 guards and Zeke, or 4 guards and a big. And, you know, I think that lineup for us, it can get us back in the game. It can change the game. It can kind of give us a different scheme. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, all of us as teams have an identity, and I think you would see if we just stayed with that the entirety, it would have caused other problems. For example, rebounding, and you saw a couple times when our smaller guys got switched on their big wings, they took advantage of it. So it kind of forced our hand to go back, but we really struggled guarding at that 4 position tonight. You know, our 4 against whoever they had at the 4. And, you know, look, you could switch and kind of, you know, get into a zone, but, you know, we're playing from behind. We struggled as much on offense. It wasn't a one-sided deal. You could talk 10 minutes about offense, and you'd say, boy, you guys it's tough to win when you have those numbers. And then you could talk the next 10 minutes about defense. They beat us at both ends, and you got to give UCLA a lot of credit.
Coach, you mentioned identity. What would you say your team's identity is at this point in the season?
You know, we're trying. We're really trying to be good at both sides of the ball. And I thought on our Washington trip away from home, that was the overall best defense we've played all season. And we got 2 great victories away from home on nights when the ball wasn't necessarily going in. Kind of like tonight, got some good looks, didn't go in. But for about maybe 28 or 30 minutes of USC, we were solid. But we had a hard time playing hard the entirety. And when you play against a team like UCLA, and UCLA, they play hard. And they played hard tonight. The advantage is going to go to them. And I thought they were the tougher, stronger, harder playing team on drives around the rim. And again, all you had to do is watch it. One-on-one drives when we were on defense, shots around the basket, and some of our drives where we were begging for a foul. And like always, we missed some point-blank shots. We missed some good shots as well.
What do you think about Zeke, and I mean, just what they were doing to him and how he was reacting to me? He's been so efficient all year, and then, you know, just was a tough night for him.
Yeah, it was a physical night. You know, I coached against Cincinnati, and that's who we played tonight. We just weren't ready for it. It's a man's game. You know, you have to be physical. You have to go through contact. You can't cry. And sometimes you have to make a clever pass because they're physical and walling up, and their toughness and physicality wore on all of us. It wore on our team. It wore on our drives. It wore on our second shots. Early in the game, you could see that, you know, guys are like begging for the foul and falling down. And you have to know going into the game that they're playing that type of game. And you have to be able to adjust. But that really bothered us, and I thought it bothered us at both ends. As oftentimes is the story, you know, they ended up out rebounding us 35-30, and a lot of it was when you miss as many shots as we miss, it favors the defense. But we were out rebounding them, I believe, by 4 at the half. So the second half shows you how dominant that part of the game was. We couldn't get any second shots on them. They got a few on us, and God, we missed a ton of shots. That's the other problem when you go small. You know, you're not going to be able to get those second shots as easily when you go small. So you have to get advantages in a different way. And although it worked for a moment, it wasn't the solution long term in that game.